is my message to you.
I will go ahead and kick off our list with Bob Marley One Love, which came out about a month ago. I've been meaning to talk about this movie, but things came up. But this is obviously the latest biopic about the legendary reggae musician, the icon himself, Bob Marley. And I would say that this has been a somewhat anticipated film because, Bob Marley is one of the most towering, iconic figures in all of music. I mean, he's really permeated multiple generations. He's meant so much to so many people, and obviously, his homeland of Jamaica, what he meant for that country, but then of course being able to cross over and transition into America and have his music really spread and have a cultural foothold for the past 40 some odd years. Now we finally get a proper theatrical Bob Marley biopic, and so I was somewhat looking forward to it. I was interested to see if I could go in, learn a bit more that I didn't know about him, maybe unpack some things about who the man was, really get deeper, beyond the surface of what you might just be able to read about him on a Wikipedia page. And I would say, unfortunately, for me personally, Bob Marley One Love was a disappointment. It didn't do much for me, and I think that it ultimately just falls in the trappings of what we've seen for a while now with biographical films and biopics with musicians in general. It extends beyond them, but specifically with musicians, over the past few years, we've seen a lot of estates and movie studios really come in and really their hand is really heavy on the making of these productions. It does not feel like that there's true vision and true perspective on the stories of these people, what they mean to people, their lives, the challenges that they dealt with, the things that they had to overcome, whatever the case may be. A lot of these feel like puff pieces. They feel like feel-good movies that are just meant to get you to show up, watch the film, listen and experience the music, and walk away happy, which I guess for a lot of people that might be fine and that might work, but not for me in particular. And I know not for a lot of people as well, because you do want to go to something and feel like you're learning about a person and uncovering things about them that you didn't necessarily know prior to seeing a film like this. And that wasn't the case with Bob Marley One Love. I think we see that the estate of Bob Marley, his family, very involved in the making of this movie. In fact, before I saw it, AMC played an ad with his son Ziggy about the fact that he was literally on set every single day. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if I want to hear you being on set every single day. Like, of course, I don't want them to do anything to bastardize the legacy of Bob Marley, but that feels like it's almost impossible at this point. He's such a cultural figure. But still, when you hear something like that, I think it kind of paints a picture for, what your perception might be going into the movie. And the fact is that I think that this is a very surface level examination of who the man was. You get a lot of the political unrest that's happening at the time in Jamaica, how he comes in and he's able to kind of, shift the paradigm of people's thinking and do some positive things and hold these concerts that unite people, unite the people of Jamaica. Obviously, the health problems that he dealt with, the fact that he got shot, like all of these things that we've seen and heard about, they're all there. And most of the movie revolves around sort of the making of his Exodus album, which is his biggest selling album, his most popular album. But it's really just a by the numbers, cliched, play the hits type of biopic that I think we so often get these days. And at this point, it is disappointing, especially for, a black, individual. You just want to see it go deeper. You want to see go under the surface and really get into the nitty gritty. And also it's like relatively short because it don't spend too much time really on anything. It just kind of bounces from one sequence to the next. When it's like, Bob Marley could really pack out a full series, like a mini series if you chose to. There's enough there. And they don't really do that. This movie is about an hour and 45 minutes. And so it just breezes by and just kind of gets to the real key highlights. And by the end of it, you're done before you even knew it. And so I got to say, it's not that great of a film to me. It's kind of surprising that they put this out in this manner, but I guess that this was always going to be the result as long as the estate was going to give approval and have the music involved and hand over the rights. If they were going to be involved, I guess it was always going to end up this way. But, coming from my vantage point, you would hope to just see something a little bit with a little bit more substance.
Man, that's a genre that we got to figure out, man. This biopic genre is ooh-wee, because we know there's so many more down the line. We can't keep going down the path of like mediocre. You know what I'm saying? Like that we have to figure it out. Like there's no way we can keep doing this. Like Amy Winehouse is about to come out. Like there's no telling what other
we're about to talk about this Michael Jackson one for next year.
Michael Jackson,
that's a big one.
At least Yeah, that's a huge one. That looks good though. I ain't gonna lie. But still, it's like, oh man, we got to get it together, man. Because yeah, it's a formula. It's clearly not working. So I don't know why we keep hitting the nail on the head with the formula. It's weird.
For sure, for sure. It's definitely one of those things where it's like you just want to see a little bit more time and attention paid to it. But yeah, I guess we're not there.